Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. We're back at it again, doing what we do, and that's talk about fake football. And as always, the Craft Man is in the building. What's going on, Craft Man?
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying the 4th, man. Happy 4th of July to you. Hope you had a good weekend. What all did you get into this weekend? A lot of partying, a lot of celebrating America.
A lot of cooking, a lot of drinking, a lot of talking shit to my lib friends. All that good stuff. But I mean, really, a lot of drinking, a lot of cooking, and a lot of eating. What about you, man?
I've been doing the same. I hadn't drank anything, surprisingly, until we, started the podcast tonight. But we took a little hiatus for a little bit, been working like crazy, haven't been getting home early, but I'm ready to start this big, beautiful podcast, if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. And that's the thing. We had a little sabbatical or whatever, but hey, me and Craftman, we're not full-time podcasters, you know what I'm saying? Like, we work jobs and stuff. We would love to be, go on there and subscribe to the podcast, and then maybe one day me and Craftman could just cut grass in the day and do podcasts at night. But today, we talking redraft today, man. It's July 5th or 6th or whenever you're going to see this, probably 6th-ish. But we're gonna talk some redraft today. So like if you want to go on YouTube and check out our playlist, this will be like one of the first episodes I put in that redraft section. But shoot, I mean, heck, you know how it is, how we do here on this show. We don't ask for much around here, just don't be a motherfucking hoe and share the show. Subscribe, like it, all that good stuff, and really just come play some fantasy football. We got some good stuff going. We're doing our best balls right now. About to start a new dynasty startup with some new players, about 8 new players, a couple players that would never play with us, and then me and Craftman got a team going in there, or got a couple teams going in there. So, man, we don't ask for much, but just share the show, especially if you like fantasy football, and heck, you got no one else to listen to. If you get tired of hearing the same old, me and Craftman, we're doing our thing over here, so come check us out. Craftman, you got anything else you want to add?
I'm good. I'm just... I wanted to ask you how it feels to be in the redraft season, because it's just a different energy in the air. Like, everything's getting a little bit closer to time. We're waiting on our draft selections, stuff like that. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes. Sometimes it takes years to figure out where you're going to pick in a draft. But, man. I got one league. I got my pick. I'm at number 10. I'm happy with it. I got to pick like almost dead last. But in this one, I'm hoping I can mix it up a little bit. I mean, I like being in the back, but if I'm in 2 leagues, I want to pick somewhere in the back, maybe pick somewhere closer to the front in the next one to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I got one main redraft league, and that's with Average Joe's. And I'm thinking I'm trying my best to get to the back. Because you know how we set it up, we like to try to get everybody to pick where they want to pick, like from the results from the previous year. We just got, some motherfucker can't even pick where you want to be from the jump. A little week-long thing going on, but
he missed the deadline, by the way. It's 10:02.
Well, put him in the back. You pick it at the 107, cuz.
I know.
You right there in the middle.
He gets to pick last. That's it.
Sheesh. I mean, dang, man. Anyways, man, I honestly and we got this episode we're about to do wide range of outcomes. Let's most unpredictable players. That's what we call in this episode. And then me and you might do a little mock draft later, and that'll really be the first time I've really done some redraft, other than some best ball stuff, which is kind of similar, but hadn't really looked at redraft too much. So now I'm just getting in the transition of doing it. It's almost football season, bro. Well, I say that, but it's just a lie. But still, though, it's a little different. It's a different time period, Yeah.
We got like 4 weeks before preseason, and then we got like 8 weeks before regular season. I mean, we're right up on it. 8 weeks will fly by. We got a lot of episodes to do within 8 weeks, so we're gonna try to get as much content out there as we can.
Hell yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start it. Like I said, Craftman, the most unpredictable players redraft 2025. You're the first one up, so I say go ahead and go.
All right, let's go ahead and put our boy out here. I'm gonna take this one from you because you're usually the one always talking about him, and I kind of feel like he's been in all of your drafts. We did a couple best balls, and I'm sure you probably would have taken him in every single one if you could have, but you probably wanted to mix it up a little bit. But this your guy right here.
Yeah.
As far as Jalen Waddle, he's going. Let me see here. He's going. Average draft spot is the 4.9 as a wide receiver 28. So he's going a lot later than he has in the past, but I feel like the episode is called, he's got a wide range of outcomes. I got some things on him that I kind of want to point out that would make him a potential for being just a top 10 wide receiver like he's done before. But in his career with Tua at quarterback, he's played 49 games. In them 49 games, he averages 85 catches for 1,207 yards and 7 touchdowns a year. So he's great with Tua throughout his career. But the main thing is Tua can't stay healthy. Jalen Waddle has a problem staying healthy. He's on and off the field. But with those stats that I just gave you, that would have put him as a wide receiver 9 last year. And this is what he averages with Tua. Almost 75 yards a game with Tua. Scoring a touchdown every other game, 0.5 touchdowns. So, this is a guy that obviously has the potential. We've all seen it. And they just got rid of Jonnu Smith, so a lot of targets going to come his way. But the weird thing with the Dolphins is the wide receivers last year dropped off in target share. The wide receivers in general for Miami only had a 50% target share compared to 65% target share in 2023. So they were throwing to tight ends, they were throwing to the running backs. And last year, Jalen Waddle only had a 14% target share. That just doesn't add up. So the main question is, are they going to switch back to throwing to Waddle and Tyreek Hill? Because if they do, Tyreek going in the 3rd round too, he's a guy that could finish wide receiver 3, no doubt. Waddle could finish in the top 12 if Tua can stay healthy. So, I'm not really arguing that this is like a great value in your draft. It's just there's not a lot of guys that have the potential to finish as high as he does if everything clicks. So,
yeah, when you said let's do this topic, this was the very first name that came to my mind because there ain't no doubt. You already know how I feel about Waddle is because it's like, what was I saying last year? Man, I'm done with this motherfucker. You can't trust him. I'm sick of his ass. Dude's always in the tent. Like I said that shit, and then off season rolls around and you see him where he's going and stuff, and then it's like, damn, they just traded Jonnu Smith. Like, I don't know, things kind of I'm buying in again. Give me some Waddle. Like, you're right. Like, I definitely started taking some Waddle in those best balls. I probably took him in like 3 of the 5 best balls, I bet. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like he has that ability to finish in the top 12, but he could just straight up screw you, man. And the reason why I get frustrated with guys like Waddle and then like T. Higgins to an extent is because you're putting them in your lineup. So when you put him in your lineup, it screws you when he's going to the tent and stuff like that. So it's not like he's hurt all the time, not to put him in. This dude's sitting in your flex spot, getting you nothing. But yes, I totally agree.
I was looking up stats for him, and you know how AI kind of knows everything. I asked AI, put it in, and even AI couldn't give me the answer. I was like, how many times has Jalen Waddle went to the blue tent? I wanted that in my stats. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like 17-game season, he went to the blue tent 9 times or something, to throw out there. But if you watch football, you know that Jalen Waddle, he'll catch a 15-yard dig route, go down, be down for about 2 minutes, walk off, and then you don't know if he's coming back in or not. So you're sitting there, halftime goes by. You're just like, is he coming back or not? You're just looking for his number on the field.
My true opinion of Jalen Waddle right now with John Smith being gone is maybe possibly we might see more rookie year Jalen Waddle where it's like less explosive plays, but maybe more in the PPR game type stuff. So I don't know. That's just kind of what I think. Just because John Smith got traded within the last week. So I don't know if that offense really got figured out. Maybe Jalen Waddle can get to that PPR type of game again. But, same with Tyreek Hill, though. I know you brought him up going in the third round. I mean, the year before.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to, go with what you were saying. He only had 85 receptions last year. So those numbers could definitely go up if it – Jonnu left a lot of targets out on the field when he left. So it seems like the Dolphins are probably going to start the year off with Tua. They're going to be balls to the wall, running their old offense, not the offense that they did last year, throwing it to Jonnu and Achane. But how long will it last is really the concern. I just don't know. I mean, if I was Tua, I'd have done retired by now. I mean,
yeah. Hey, man, the man wants to play football, man. Let him play.
I guess.
All right. Well, shoot. I'm going to go ahead and slide it to the next one then. Because I talk about this motherfucker all the time. I figured why not talk about him some more and during the redraft stuff. Because I've said it the whole time. I've been done said this. Like, he could pop off. I think Rome Odunze talent-wise is as good as a lot of these guys up there that in these tier 2 range or whatever. But we're also talking about the Bears, bro. So it's like, I mean, he's going as wide receiver 36 right now. And think about how bad it was last year. Like, I know it was just a rookie year for these two guys, but think about how bad they was. I mean, it was like barely cracking top 50 bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's bad, bro. So what I'm saying is like, all right, what am I thinking this year? Is the Bears really about to – I've said it so many times. Ben Johnson coming in. Are they at least going to put a good offense out on the field? Now you got all these weapons, the O-line, yada, yada, this. Swift's back there. I mean, all these things look so good. So let's just see how it goes. Like, what's the upside going to look like? Caleb Williams, too. Like, you're this generational talent that we get every 2 years. So let's just let's see how it goes. Like, Caleb Williams is going as quarterback 14. I know he's a pocket passer, so he's going to have good years and down years if he's what we think he is. So basically, it's just like this is an upside play. Like, how high could I see Rome Odunze finishing in the top 12? Yeah. Could I see him finishing in the top 48? Yeah, I could see that too. I could see it all. Rome Odunze is another one of those best balls. He's just so low, and his ADP is just so low where it's just like he's always there. I can't help but snag him. I mean, Caleb Williams, like, I don't know. He's not somebody that I go and get. Like, I don't think I have no Caleb Williams anywhere in any league, but Rome Odunze I like. So it's like, let's see how it goes. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, could he be high? Hell yeah. Could he be real low? Hell yeah. And I wouldn't even a little bit surprised.
Yeah, he could end up finishing pretty high if the talent kind of pans out. But what I was trying to figure out here, because I wanted the exact stat, but the Bears were 31st in the league in passing yards per game, 181 passing yards per game last year. So this is the belief in Ben Johnson. And the way I kind of look at it is best case scenario, DJ Moore becomes Amon-Ra light, and Rome Odunze takes over the Jameson role where he's getting hit down the field, 16, 17 yards per catch and scoring some touchdowns. But I agree. It's all going to boil down to Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson. Is that offense going to work? Was it just because the offense was terrible last year, or can they pick it up? And they play in a very tough division, and they play in a bad weather environment. So especially when the winter seasons come about. So I'm not as high on Odunze as you are, but he's definitely one of these guys that you see shoot up draft boards the next year.
Right.
Because of the talent. So,
earlier in Dynasty, I was saying he was the best buy low in Dynasty, but it's like that his price really hadn't even changed that much. So he's really not even the best buy low. But redraft, his price is pretty low. So and best ball. So just one of those guys where it's like, man, he's just always there. I can't help it. There's Waddle and then Odunze. It's like those are two names that just fall to me where it's like, got to snatch it up. Got to.
I mean, in the 30s, wide receiver, it's not like it's not gonna make or break your season if you draft him and he doesn't do anything. So I think it's a good pick.
But heck, I will say this, though. As far as Caleb Williams goes, I do think he's boom and bust, but, man, there's just probably no way I'd even be touching him because I look at all these quarterbacks going way lower than him, and I think they could do just as good. So, but I felt like I had to put him and connect him with Rome Odunze.
All right.
Crap.
So we on to the next guy, a dude that I can't seem to get off talking about, but he is one of these guys that just has a wide range of outcomes. I mean, he was going as an RB12 last year, and this year he's going in the 7th round as the RB25, and nothing has really changed. He had an injury last year. I think he broke his fibula, but he did come back. He didn't look like himself, but if you look at what the Chiefs did, they only drafted one running back, Brashard Smith, in the 7th round. So I don't feel like a whole lot has changed. You know, the Chiefs are going to run the ball, but having a Chiefs running back isn't necessarily the recipe for winning your fantasy leagues, because we had the Kareem Hunt season where he just went off. But I got one thing about the Chiefs running backs. They, as a group, the whole entire running back group over the last 4 years, they only averaged 10 touchdowns a year at the running back position. So that just shows you all that creativity that Andy Reid runs in the red zone. You see him shovel pass into Travis Kelce. You know, they trust Mahomes not to make a mistake in the red zone. So really the touchdown upside isn't as high as you would think it would be when you got, you know, James Cook out there rushing for 20 touchdowns and Saquon doing his thing, and you got all the David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs scoring 30-something touchdowns on the ground combined, and the Chiefs are over here, you know, only rushing it in for an average of 10 touchdowns a year for the past 4 years. So, and that's as a group. That's not just one running back. That's as a group. So he has the potential to finish really high as long as he comes off the injury, and it doesn't seem like, you know, they got rid of Samaje Perine, so it just doesn't seem like they address the position that much. Right. And Kareem Hunt's old. I mean, if you were with any other team, you would be hoping Kareem Hunt was your backup for your superstar running back. So, because it's kind of like, yeah, it's just one of them dudes. He's old. He can score some touchdowns every now and again, but it ain't a big deal.
Right. Nah, I agree with Isaiah Pacheco. I think last year we was super high on him. Like, I think we just discussed it before the pod, but he was going in the 3rd round last year, and I'm about positive Noah Bubble Blower took Pacheco in like the back of the 2nd in that average Joe's. I'm not sure if that's true or if I'm just misremembering, but I'm pretty sure Pacheco went really high. Like, we was all high on Pacheco.
Yeah, I definitely was.
Yeah, I think my thing last year I was like Pacheco in the 2nd, Waddle in the 3rd. I don't know. I kept saying something. There was like 2 of them. And I was really high. It was something like that. Yeah, Pacheco, look, he was definitely on pace. He was going to get all the work. You know what I'm saying? And I think nothing's really changed, to be honest with you. I mean, he broke his leg, and then he came back, and he played like he broke his leg. I mean, he broke his fibula. You know what I'm saying? And he came back for a little Super Bowl run. And, you know, I mean, now he's got a whole offseason to get healthy and stuff. Like, to me, all Pacheco's thing was health-wise. And then when the offseason comes, it's like, is he going to survive the draft? Well, he obviously survived the draft. I mean, what they do? They brought in that guy in the 7th round. I mean,
Brashard Smith,
Pacheco's a 7th-round pick, but, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, Pacheco's definitely safe as far as, like, his job-wise. Like, he's definitely going to be the starting running back this year. And I really don't even hear no buzz about it, like, as if he's going to get replaced or, like, I don't even feel like his spot is, like, remotely in trouble or anything like that. It just seems like new year, Pacheco's back there. The Chiefs are going to be doing their thing, winning games.
And I think it was kind of a feat for him to even come back. I mean, I wouldn't have thought he would even be back last year. So he probably just came back too early. It's not one of the ligament injuries where it's going to affect you for a long time. I mean, you got a broken bone. Once it's healed, I feel like it's healed. I'm not a doctor, but it's not like you tore your Achilles and had to come back from that. So the draft price for him,
right?
You don't see a lot of potential down there in the 7th round to finish, as a top 12 running back. So he's got the potential, but there's definitely some risk involved.
Yep, agreed. I want to talk about some risk. That's a guy I usually stay away from. It's old CMC, Christian McCaffrey. And look, there's really not much to say, but if we're talking about a wide range of outcomes and most unpredictable players, I feel like we just be doing a disservice not bringing his name up, because right now, like, we're doing best balls. And redraft right now is going as RB7, and then the best ball I see him going at like the back of the first, maybe beginning of the second, type stuff like that. And I'd be thinking, like, I want to be picking in the back of the draft, you know what I'm saying? But I don't even know if I touch Christian McCaffrey. I'm just being honest. It's just one of them things. Like, he's either gonna go off. I mean, I guess there could be a chance where they bring him back and he splits time and shit like that. But I think most realistically is what's always going to happen. He's going to come back and he's either going to go the fuck off or he is going to kill you. And that's like a wide range of outcomes right there, like a win or last place type stuff. So I feel like Christian McCaffrey could make or break your ass. I'm just wondering though, Craft Man, would you consider taking him? Like, I know you get burned by him all the time, but it's like, where's that point? I mean, like, I do think he's going probably appropriately, because let me pull it up real quick. I think he was going ahead of like Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor and stuff like that. So it's like, at least he's not going ahead of like, the big boys, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously he wouldn't, but hold on, I gotta bring it up just real quick. Genty's going ahead of McCaffrey. I don't know how you feel about Genty. I mean, to me, he's kind of got a wide range, but he's going ahead of Bucky Irvin, Josh Jacobs, JT. But I mean, hell, he's going ahead of like Kyron Williams and Chase Brown and stuff like that. So it's like, man,
almost 2 rounds later,
risk it with Kyron.
Yeah,
right. Like, I think I'd rather take my chances with those type of guys than.
But you could start your draft with McCaffrey and Kyron. That's the problem.
Yeah,
you could or McCaffrey and Jacobs, or just any of them guys you mentioned. You can start with both, and you're just starting off like really hot. And my take on him is I drafted him at the 2 last year, the 102, and he burned me completely. It was worthless. And then in the other league, I traded for him. I traded for him and Jordan Mason at the same time, so I could have a little reassurance. And then they both went on IR, so screwed me in that aspect. But this year, I had a chance. We were doing our draft picks in Yahoo League, and I had the 109 and 110, and I knew that was McCaffrey range. And Brad was the only person to pick next. And Brad loves McCaffrey. And I said, I'm going to pick the 110 instead of the 109. Brad ended up at the 109. I said, you make the decision for me, bud. If you don't draft him, I will. If you draft him, he's all yours. It's kind of it's a hard thing to pass up in the back of the first when you have a running back that could finish as a number 1. If he stays healthy all year, he's going to be at least RB1 or 2, in my opinion. They're not gonna split it up. He's one of the best running backs when he's on the field that I've pretty much ever seen play the game. So, you hit this one dead on the head. He's kind of the topic of discussion for every draft right now, because I could see somebody picking him at the 103. I could see him making it to the 2nd round. And ain't nobody gonna sit there in your draft if he goes at the 102. Going to be like, y'all, you're an idiot. No, they're just going to be like, all right, he's taking the risk that he's going to stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you had to bring him up. If you're going to do a topic like this on a podcast,
You have to.
you got to talk about Christian McCaffrey and where he's going. It's kind of like it's like, how do I explain it? It was like Cooper Kupp was maybe 2 seasons ago or something like that. I feel like it's kind of similar. It's maybe even kind of like Tyreek Hill. Like he was going at the 103 last year. So just something type of like that. But Christian McCaffrey's just on a whole other level as far as like he could fuck you or he could win your whole league. So
would you take the risk and redraft? Are you pretty confident in drafting them? Like, I'm going confident. I'm going for gold. But you're willing to take the risk,
play it safe.
Nah.
I don't know, man. I wish motherfuckers would pick where they want to pick so I can know where I'm picking in the draft, and then I'll decide if I want to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, though. I mean, if I'm at the 111, what'd you say, 110? I mean, in theory, you could get CMC and then swing back and get a good wide receiver on that comeback. So it's like, it's a tough one, man. It's a toughie. Good thing I got a little bit of time to think about it, and hopefully I won't even have to make that decision. All right, crap, man. I'm switching over to your next guy.
Kenneth Walker. There's kind of like something going on with the picks that we made. A lot of the guys that we've mentioned so far have injury problems, and that's kind of what leaves these guys out to dry sometimes in drafts. But that's kind of the values you get when you go into redraft season. Is the injury prone guys kind of seem to fall down the list, and you can, if you, like we just talked about McCaffrey, if you avoided him 1 year, he won the league. If you took him 1 year, he lost you the league. And Kenneth Walker's kind of been a guy that you can see all the potential on the field, but he just never seems to play a full season. But if he gets a full season, you never know where he could finish. Like, I could definitely see him, top 12 if he plays. But the reason I wanted to mention him is because they got a new offensive coordinator, and last year things were a little weird about his usage. So he averaged 4.1 receptions a game. 46 receptions in 11 games. That was only behind Kamara and Devon Achane last year. I don't really think of Kenneth Walker as being just this crazy good pass catcher, but he was out there doing it with the likes of the 2 best in the league at doing it. So, but he was absolutely terrible on the ground. 3.7 yards per carry. That's the lowest out of the top 25 last year. You had guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry almost at the 5 range, 5 yards per carry. So he was bad on the ground. He was great as a receiving back. So I just don't know what we're really going to get out of the guy this year. And personally, I mean, we hadn't really been talking about, like, are we avoiding or are we drafting this guy this year? But I've kind of came to the point where I'm avoiding Kenneth Walker because I don't know how that Seahawks offense is going to look with Sam Darnold. They got a bad offensive line. But if he was doing what he did last year, if he keeps, getting as many receptions as he was getting, he's not going to finish low if they keep throwing him the ball. And they don't have a lot of receivers over there.
Heck, the Seahawks, like, I haven't necessarily been avoiding Kenneth Walker, but definitely am avoiding Seahawks. Like, I don't see nothing good Seahawks wise, and that's with Sam Darnold having a fine year last year. I just think, I don't know, man. It's just one of those where it's just like, I'm not really looking forward to drafting Seahawks players this year. But Kenneth Walker, I mean, where is he going? I mean, did you say where he was going again, Craftman?
Nah, he's going in the third. He's going in the late third. RB 16.
I thought he was going to say like 5th or something. I probably wouldn't be taking him. I mean, I feel like you have to kind of avoid him somewhat. I mean, I haven't totally avoided him, but another one of my thoughts is like maybe the Seahawks are not going to be really that good. Can't really depend on these wide receivers. Maybe they're going to try to run the ball and just use Kenneth Walker to get them through.
Yeah. I just realized that I had it on ADP 2024, not 2025, but it didn't make no difference. He's still going in the last year, this year, he's in the same spot. RB 15. I said 16. He's going 15 in sleeper, back of the third round. But last year was the year for running backs, and I feel like they're getting pushed up. This is half PPR setting, too. This isn't full PPR, so.
Right. Yeah. Kenneth Walker, man, wide range outcomes. I think a lot of people, and I'm just spitballing this off the top of my head. Some people like to bring in Zach Charbonnet, like, oh, he's going to cut in and stuff. But Charbonnet hasn't really cut in yet, and I just think he hasn't cut in yet, and I don't think he's going to. I mean, and when he plays, he's had like a couple good games. He hasn't been all that.
You know, Charbonnet is like that durable back. You know, you got a new offensive coordinator there, and sometimes they just get sick of it, sick of you not playing, and they'll just put in the guy that is going to stay out there and rattle off, 3.7 yards per carry for Walker last year. They might get sick of that too. That's like some DeAndre Swift type shit,
Yeah. Yeah. All right, crap, man. You got a good one right here. Go ahead and take over this one. Hold on.
Well, this one's just easy. This ain't got no stats to back it up. It's just Trevor Lawrence. Every time I watch him play, he just seems like he looks like sunshine, but I feel like he's a tough quarterback who stays out there and plays when he's not severely injured. And then you got two top receivers. If Travis Hunter, I've heard a lot of people say that he's the number one wide receiver in this draft, but the concern is obviously that we don't know how much he's going to play on offense. And I just feel like you don't take him at the number 2 overall selection if you're not planning on playing him mainly on offense. But the problem is injuries happen in the NFL, and what happens when 2 of their cornerbacks get hurt the first couple weeks or something like that, then Travis Hunter's going to be needed more on defense. And, he's just going so late. Wide receiver 35, 6th-round pick. So I would draft him almost every single time just to take that chance because if he is that good, and I like Trevor Lawrence as a fantasy quarterback, I don't know how many games the Jags are going to win. They play in a bad division, but this was just easy. I mean, if he plays a full allotment of snaps on offense, and he's as good as people think he is, he's not going to be wide receiver 35. He's going to be higher than that. Right. Christian Kirk has some really good years with the Jags, and he's gone. Evan Ingram's gone. It's Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter. That's it. So,
yeah. I mean, before the NFL draft happened, I was kind of skeptical about Travis Hunter. I was like, he's going to be playing both sides of the ball, and then when he does play on the offense, we got to depend on him to be very involved in the offense. But I kind of wavered off that once he got drafted at number 2 overall to T-Law too. So it's like, it's not like he was stuck with the Browns or something crazy like that. Yeah, man, this was an obvious one too. Cause heck, I got Travis Hunter in my main dynasty league and I don't really know what to expect from him. I'm honestly not expecting too much. I seen his over and under was like at 795 or something like that. Like it wasn't that high. So it's like, I don't think Vegas thinks he's going to be, all that, you know what I'm saying? So
that's a good place to look too, because they probably got more information than we do.
Right. Because they be cheating and shit. But yeah, look, it's just one of those things. Like I kind of view it, maybe not all the way like the Bears, but it's like, what you gonna do, T-Law? Like, are y'all about to get this offense rolling? Like, these guys should really and realistically should have one of the best offenses. I'm just being real. Like, you got Brian Thomas, you got Travis Hunter, like you're stacked. You got ETN and all that. I mean, the O-line has been so bad these past few years too, though. So that's just one of them things. But it's like y'all need to get it rolling. And if you got it rolling, like, do I think T-Law could support 2 wide receivers? Like, I definitely think he can. You know what I'm saying? But I've also liked T-Law more than a lot of people have. But I've also given him some passes because I know he's with the Jaguars and shit. Like, that dude's in Jacksonville. Like, what the fuck do you expect? Like, this is how it's gonna be, big dog. Like, and now I see T-Law going at like quarterback 20 or something like that. It's like, man, I'm hopping on that all day. But it's the same thing with Travis Hunter, like wide receiver 36. Like, shit, I mean, hop on that. That's too easy. The only thing I wish is I wish I wouldn't have to get on Twitter and see this motherfucker dancing all the time. I feel like everybody's sick of that motherfucker dance. That dude be dancing the whole practice, man.
He's still hyped he didn't go to Cleveland. I would be dancing still too if I didn't have to go over there. So that's but one thing I didn't mention, Liam Cohen coming over there too. Chris Godwin was eating last year. Chris Godwin was absolutely a menace. So he's going to be playing that slot role that I think Godwin was playing. So, it could be really good, but it could be really bad too. He might be on defense and you might not even, you just draft him and watch him.
Right.
Hopefully you got some points for interceptions in your league.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that one was a good one, Kraft, man. All right, I got one rookie to bring up. TreVeyon Henderson. I know you love you some TreVeyon Henderson, and I don't blame you because I like him too. But this is also one where I feel like he's less safe going into year one. Is like Judkins and Caleb Johnson and all them. Like, I feel like you're gonna be able to plug them in, and they're gonna produce year one. I kind of think that way with Drake May and the Patriots. Like, I think TreVeyon Henderson going to come in. Like, I really think he'll come in and they'll be throwing it to him a lot and he'll probably pop off. That's really what I think. But, old C. Swizzy been on this podcast for years bashing the Patriots and shit. And I'm just saying, Drake May's getting a lot of hype and I like Drake May. But I can definitely tell some of this shit's getting way out of hand, bro. Way out of hand. Like, and I know people love them some Drake May. But it's like, what are the Patriots really going to be? I know a lot of things kind of look up. Like, they don't have that many receivers and stuff. So that's a good point that's like a point in TreVeyon Henderson's direction and shit. But it's also like, what if their offense is just shitty again? Like, what if they just suck again? You know what I'm saying? And their offense ain't no good. Well, then we got a little problem. Then TreVeyon Henderson ain't going to be that good. So it's like, I feel like as far as like for this episode, like a wide range of outcomes, I feel like his is wider than a lot of those rookie running backs, or at least the top ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's another team that was super terrible last year? Bad quarterback play. And they had a running back just going off. Alvin Kamara with the Saints. They just kept tossing it down to him for 5 or 6 yards per catch. And he was like a top 5 running back until he got hurt and, skipped out on the last part of the season. So I'm pretty high on Henderson because I think that his upside is pretty tremendous. I mean, you're getting him at RB 28. So he's right there at the back end. And you got a new coach. You got Mike Vrabel over there. And Ramondre, he's still going to see the field. He's probably going to be fine. But it wasn't but a couple years ago that the Patriots offense sucked and Ramondre was going in like the second round of drafts. And TreVeyon Henderson's a lot better running back than Ramondre is. It's not even close. So I just believe in the talent, and I like the selection because you don't necessarily need a good team when you have a pass catching running back. And not just a pass catching running back, he's a great pass blocker too. So you'll definitely be seeing him on third downs and probably a lot more. I think there's a potential he gets 60 to 70% of the snaps this year. And if the Patriots can take a small step up, he could finish pretty high and he'd be a good pick. Rookie running backs are a good bet to bet on anyway when they're drafted early.
And let's just see what Drake May is going to be up to this year. Like, I kind of believe in Drake May and the Patriots and shit. Like, I think it's probably most likely going to go good. I'm just saying it could go wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like he's just a little less safe than those other guys. But, yeah, I mean, heck, TreVeyon Henderson, I mean, honestly, his upside is probably higher than those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, his upside's probably higher and his low side's probably lower. But felt like I got to pick him up. He's like the most unsure one. I feel like I had to bring him up. All right. had to bring Garrett Wilson up, man. Because I've been saying, I feel like they're gonna go off this year. I don't know why. I feel like him and Justin Fields gonna do their thing. Like, and I've never really been too high on Garrett Wilson. Like, I know when people were high on Garrett Wilson, I was like, dude, Drake London realistically is right there with him, and I still believe that. And now I think it's starting to cool down on Garrett Wilson a little bit. People starting to cool off on him. You know, Justin Fields is coming, but it's like, man, Justin Fields, fantasy football wise, he really ain't been terrible, and maybe he's going to find his way with the Jets somewhat. All I'm saying is just speculation and a gut feeling. Like, there ain't nothing to back up Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson working out. So,
not really.
I just think Garrett Wilson, I got him at wide receiver 15 or something like that. So, it's like, could he beat his ADP? I really believe he could. But, hell, he could be down there with the Roma Doomsdays this year for all I know. He could really should have break. This could be one of those guys that really fucks you up. So it's like nothing to back it up, just a little gut feeling. I think for some reason Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson might could get it rolling. But this one, I mean, of all those wide receivers in that range, he's definitely the one with the widest range of outcomes, I believe. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I might be avoiding them, to be honest.
I haven't picked him yet. I really haven't. But like you said, Justin Fields supported DJ Moore as a wide receiver 6 one year. Only throwing for, I don't even think he threw for 3,000 yards, and DJ Moore was still in the top 10. So if that happens, that would be great. The Jets are just, they're just one of them teams where you want to kind of avoid all their players a lot of the time. But I mean, you got Brees there, Garrett Wilson. They're both kind of in this category where if it clicks, Brees Hall, not a guy we have on the episode, but, both of them could outperform their ADP pretty high if the Jets can get it rolling. But, I think Garrett Wilson's more of a target hog type receiver. He is explosive, but we'll kind of see how it plays. This is a good one though.
All right, Crabman. Yeah, it's the last one of the night, but it's your boy too. Yeah. So, Matthew Stafford.
Well, I just had to mention the quarterback for the Rams. I mean, they're not far behind as Super Bowl favorites. They have 2 top receivers in the top 30. You only see that with Joe Burrow. That's the only quarterback that you see with 2 receivers that are in the top 30. And Matthew Stafford just has a whole lot of improvement with his touchdowns. I mean, he only threw 20 touchdowns last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he got close to 35. I mean, Sam Darnold did it last year with the Vikings. And the Rams offense runs just as smooth as the Vikings offense runs. So I try to bet on like touchdown regression, positive touchdown regression, where you see guys like Baker throwing for 41 last year. I kind of expect that to come down. And then you got guys down here at the bottom, and he just has the potential. Nobody would be surprised if Matthew Stafford was the top 10 quarterback this season. So I'm not making the case that he is going to be a top 10 quarterback, but he has a wide range of outcomes where he's getting drafted so late that you can't use him in a redraft at all. But he might just be a guy that you pick up on free agency or draft in like the 15th round of your draft, and you have a quarterback to start all season, and you're pretty much happy with it. You got guys like Jared Goff going in like the 6th, 8th round, around that range, and then you got Stafford who's barely getting drafted in redraft, who could have, a great season. So I kind of want to throw him in there.
And I like the point where you brought up the touchdowns, like, pocket passers, they always go up and down. And you look at Matthew Stafford's weapons, and it's like, dude, this dude has weapons like a lot of teams don't have. He's got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. I mean, heck, I've been telling people in Dynasty go by Devontae Adams still, no matter how old he is. So it's like, man, they are stacked with Sean McVay too. So it's like they're ready to roll.
But how does Puka – pay off his ADP, and Devontae Adams pay off his ADP without Stafford having a really good season? That's my argument on this is you just don't have 2 alpha receivers on a team, and the quarterback is just not used in fantasy. So we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens. But he has the outcome to be one of the better picks in your draft. But he could also throw for 20 touchdowns again, and he's unusable.
But at least it won't kill you. You know what I'm saying? So
probably not.
Yeah. So yeah, I like it though. We'll shoot, man. That about. Is there any just names to toss out there that we didn't put on a banner or nothing? But
well, I know if Noah was here, Jameson Williams would be in this category because he thinks he said this isn't even a joke. He thinks he can finish in the top 12 at wide receiver. He's been taking them in absolutely every single draft, and I can see the potential, but I'm not going to make the argument for Jameson. I'm higher on him than the consensus, but I'm not as high. Like I want him. I kind of look at him as like the George Pickens last year, where I kind of look at him as George Pickens this year, where I think you're going to have like just some blow up games. He's a good best ball pick, but you're probably going to have some games where he has like 2 catches for 30 yards and you're not happy with it. But I mean, we'll kind of see how that plays out.
Man, you can tell Noah Bubble Blow, I got no Jerry Jeudy light on my teams, bro. None. And what you call it? Who'd you say, George Pickens? I ain't got no George Pickens neither. I feel like that dude's value done dropped so much since the beginning of the last year. But yeah, heck, I mean, any more names we're just gonna toss out? I was gonna kind of just mention like not to say their outcomes are super wide, but like maybe Marv again and Neighbors again. I feel like their outcomes are maybe a little wider than what people think. You know, I know Neighbors did some good things last year with no quarterback, but still, we don't know what it's going to look like in New York with that little shebang. And Marv, maybe I'll be wrong about Kyler and Marv. Maybe they just fuck up and they're bad again next year. But I don't know. I just wanted to throw their names out there. Not that I really think they're going to be real bad. I think they'll probably be really good. But Dallas Cowboy running backs.
Yeah, wide range of outcomes with the Cowboys running backs. Javonte, if he comes back and he's finally off that ACL injury that's kind of been screwing him the last couple of years, if he's an explosive running back and the Cowboys got an explosive offense, like Jaden Blue too, whoever wins that job, you could just see, you know, you're going to get a good payoff. And another team, we mentioned the Cowboys running backs. One I want to mention, the Broncos running backs. Get J.K. Dobbins in there.
Yeah.
He's going incredibly late. I feel like he's a smash pick in your drafts right now. And R.J. Harvey, he's undersized, but you know for a fact that Sean Payton likes to throw the ball to the running backs. Him and Dobbins should get plenty of targets, and they could have a really good year. One of the two, maybe both.
Well, shoot, man, that really about wraps it on up. This was our first episode in a while. First redraft episode of the year. You might see some new voices and faces that ain't been on in a while. So I'm glad we got back on it. Hey, we're working, like I said, we're working a lot and stuff, man. Can't get on all the time, but for those of y'all who listen, thank y'all for listening to the podcast, and thank y'all for sharing. I know some of y'all been out there sharing the show and stuff. Crabman, what you want to say to the people out there?
No, nothing. Just appreciate everybody for listening, and hit that like button if you can. You know, it helps us out, gets our stuff out to more people. And if you want to subscribe, you can certainly do that. You know, hop on there and subscribe with us. That's the way you catch every episode. It's getting that time where redraft is hitting, and you know, everybody's wanting to get back into fantasy now. So appreciate y'all for listening.
Yes, sir. Me too, man. I after not thinking about fantasy football for a few weeks, and it's like, damn, I'm ready for this shit. I can't wait. I wish I knew where I was drafting and stuff like that. Dude.
Me too.
If you ever listen to this.
We're about to know the deadline is over.
That's true, man. So for everybody out there, thank y'all for listening. But we are out.
Peace.